Hello everyone, welcome to Tooth Tales. My name is Dr. Manu Mathur and I am a dentist. I am here on this platform to share my knowledge about dentistry. Whatever little knowledge I have acquired over a period of time, I would like to share with all my colleagues, dental graduates, general practitioners, and anyone who is into dentistry. You guys might find these video little useful for you. So, through this platform, I'll be sharing a series of small videos that might help you to understand better about dentistry, and it might do some kind of value addition to your life. I hope you guys will like and appreciate these videos. So, this is my maiden video, and in this video, I'm going to discuss what is the rationale behind dental implants. When there were so many modes of dental treatment like FPDs and RPDs already available, then what was the reason that we switched over to dental implants? Why do we really need dental implants? What are the rationale behind? So, to understand this topic, we will understand this topic through a lot of factors. There are some 6 factors that we will discuss one by one in detail, and that will make the topic more clear. Let's get started. So, the factors that really matter, that why dental implants are very important. Factor number 1 is aging population. Factor number 2, FPD failure. FPD is a very good choice of treatment, but comparatively the failures are high. So we had to look for something which is better than FPD. Factor number 3, poor performing RPDs. Coming to factor number 4, which is anatomical consequences of tooth loss. Tooth loss is just not an event, but it brings along with it a lot of consequences. What are those consequences? We will understand through this video. Next point is psychological aspects of tooth loss. Once a tooth is lost, it is not only causing physical damage, but it's causing psychological damage as well. So, what all can happen and why the psychological damage happens, we will see that. And last but not the least, advantages of implant supported prosthesis. Implant supported prosthesis offer some advantages over FPD and RPD, and that is the reason it is the treatment of choice. So, coming to factor number 1, effects of an aging population. Now, if we try to understand and look at this graph, what is this graph telling us? This graph very clearly shows us that the amount of aging population, the amount of elderly people, the amount is of 60 plus people has always been more than the general population across the world. Now, why is that so? If we understand this graph, then this blue line indicates our total population and the red line shows that there is 35.5% hike in our elderly population. Why is that this elderly population is so high as compared to the general population? If we look at the other graph, then we will see a percentage hike. In 1960s, there was 5.6% of the population which was in the segment of 60 plus, which increased to about 8.6 in 2011. Now, what is the reason why this graph, what can we understand by this graph? This graph clearly indicates that the amount of aging population, the segment of people in between their 40s and 60s, which are 60 plus, are increasing. The numbers are shooting. So how is this value important for us? These values are important for us because as the aging population is increasing, we are having more and more edentulous spaces, maybe partial, maybe complete. But as the number of this elderly population increases, we get more and more edentulous spaces. And as the edentulous space increases, we have more and more teeth to be replaced, and that's why there is more chance for us to place implants. In 1960s, the life expectancy of a person was 65 years. which became 78 years in 1990s. Coming to 2001, it became 85 years. So why I am putting these data across? Through this data, I want to clearly explain the hike which is happening in aging population. And because the aging population is increasing with this speed, so we need to have a treatment which can replace their missing teeth. After a certain age, there will be 70 to 80% where people will have either partial or complete edentulous spaces in their mouth, and that's why the need to replacement is even higher than before. Now let's understand factor number 2, which is FPD failure. Now, as it is very clear from the above picture that our two side teeth are not so happy. What is the reason? See, FPD or a fixed partial denture is what is a fixed partial denture? A fixed partial denture, whenever a tooth is lost, to replace that missing tooth, what is done? We cut short the two adjacent tooth and we give three caps which are attached to each other. Because these three caps bridge the gap in between the two teeth, that's why in general language FPD or fixed partial denture is also called as a bridge. Now this bridge initially can work very nice. Every doctor does the best of their ability. They try to give the best FPD possible. But what happens from the area where the tooth is lost, where we have placed a bridge, that crown comes only on top of the gums. There's nothing which goes inside the gums. So over a period of time, there is bone loss. Because of bone loss, the gums in that area recedes. And when the gums in that area recedes, what happens? There's a space which is created in between gums and the bridge. And this space only these germs sit. All the food items, whatever we bite, will go and sit below this center tooth which has been replaced. And because that area is so difficult to clean, so difficult to manage, it's not possible through brushing that we remove all the food which is sitting over there. Over a period of time, this causes decay of the adjacent two teeth. That is the reason the two adjacent teeth are spoiled. FPD, although, has been a treatment of choice for last 6 decades, but 20% of the FPDs, if we believe the data, will fail by 3 years, and about 50% FPDs fail by the end of 10 years. All the adjacent tooth which were fine when we started the treatment will have to undergo some or the other treatment. Either they will have to undergo a restoration because of the caries, or they will have to undergo a root canal treatment if there is a deep decay which has happened. See, the abutment is also compromised. There's a compromise in the health of the abutment periodontal status as well over a period of time. That is the reason FPD is having a lot of disadvantages. If we compare the implants in place of FPD, then the implant success rate for single piece implants, if I talk, the survival rate in 1 to 10 years is ranging from somewhere in between 94% to 100%, which is a pretty good figure. And the greatest transition from an intact dental arch to a partially edentulous condition, which has occurred in 35 to 54 years old, is tremendous. And that's the reason we have a lot of people in this age group which need to get their teeth replaced. And the biggest advantage that implant gives us over FPD is this implant. Whenever we replace a tooth with an implant, there is absolutely no need to disturb the adjacent teeth. So what are the 3 important points we can pick from this thing is, whenever we place an FPD, we have to replace a failed prosthesis very soon in future. Second, there is loss of abutment tooth. And third, there will be need of additional Pontics once these side abutments are spoiled. And the 5-star point over here remains that there is absolutely no need to disturb the abutment tooth. Now coming to the third factor. The third factor, which is RPD, or removable partial dentures. RPD or removable partial dentures are definitely a no-no these days. The reason behind, see, when we chew our food, when we bite our food, the biting force that we apply is 200 Sa. The same biting force with RPD reduces to only 50 Sa. Now there's a big difference in between 200 Sa and 50 Sa. So it's very clear that when we are chewing with only 50 Sa force, we'll not be able to chew our food nicely. When we are not able to chew our food correctly, then what happens? It will lead to lot of GIT problems. It will lead to lot of general health diseases. Because of improper masticatory efficiency, people, especially elder people, they end up having GIT disorders. Because of these GIT disorders, they have to be on medications to take care of these GIT disorders. So, just because of one or two missing tooth, just because of few missing tooth in their mouth, they end up creating general health issues for them. Also, the area where RPD is placed, there is accelerated bone loss. The bone loss in that area, happens more quicker because there are unnecessary forces which is applied on top of the gums. The abutment tooth also, from which we take support, as you all know that RPDs will be having a metal clasp. That clasp goes around the abutment tooth. That abutment tooth also will have some kind of mobility after some period of time. It will be affected by more and more plaque. There will be bleeding on probing, and definitely it will have caries very soon. So that is the reason RPDs are not at all a treatment of choice. Now coming to the anatomical consequences of tooth loss. Anatomical consequences can be broadly divided into three parts. Part 1 is consequences of bony structure. Part 2, consequences in soft tissues. And because of these two, because of changes in bony structure and changes in soft tissue, the third is changes in aesthetic outlook. So what are the changes in bony structures once a tooth is lost? See, according to Wolff's law, a bone always remodels in relationship to the forces which are applied. Whenever we chew our food, through the pressure that we apply through our tooth root, that pressure goes inside the bone. We give tensile and compressive forces to our bone while chewing, and these forces help our bone to maintain its internal architecture and external configuration. Now, when a tooth is lost, there are no forces which are going inside the bone. Neither RPD nor FPD applies forces inside the bone. Both remains only on external surface. Because there is no tensile and compressive forces, after a tooth is lost, that particular area from which a tooth is missing, there is loss of trabeculae in that area, and hence the bone density reduces. So we need a treatment where we can not only give aesthetic looks, we can not only provide functionality, but we have to provide compressive and tensile forces inside the bone. We have to give at least some kind of pressure force inside the bone so that it can maintain its form and density. Now, what are the other bony changes that happens? Once a tooth is lost, the bone rapidly loses its width and height. First, there is loss in width, and then there is loss in height of the bone. Then there are bony structures like superior genial tubercles, like mylohyoid ridge, like internal oblique ridge. All these bony structures, after bone loss is there, they become very prominent. And if patient is using any removable prosthesis, then this prosthesis, it frictions against these prominent structures and it ends in sore spots, which is really painful for the patient. Also, as per this picture, it is very much clear that the bone loss creates a kind of inclination on the bone, especially in mandibles. It creates a big inclination. So when the in plane of the mandible is inclined, there is a tendency for the prosthesis to slip out. That prosthesis, there are more chances to slip out. Also, because of bone loss, what happens? Muscle attachment, like buccinator muscle attachment and other muscles of mastication, their muscle attachments become more superior. Okay, they come towards the crest, and when the mylohyoid and buccinator muscles, there is a there is a contraction in these muscles during mastication. Their attachment has become more superior. Okay, it has come towards the crest now because of bone loss. The bone has lost, the muscle attachment has come towards the crest. Now when buccinator muscle and mylohyoid muscle will contract the attachments during mastication, these will further push the denture out. Already there is an inclination in bone, and now the muscle contraction is also pushing the denture out. So these kind of bony changes makes it very difficult for any removable prosthesis to stay inside the mouth. Also, there is thinning of mucosa, which I'll be discussing in the next point. Because of bone loss, one major change what happens is there is increase in the tongue space. Now, because there is increase in tongue space, to adapt, there is increase in the size of tongue as well, and our tongue becomes more active in our chewing process. There is a change in the accent. There is a change in our pronunciation. Our phonetics changes a lot. You must have noticed whenever a patient has got a new prosthesis, the way they talk becomes completely different. It's difficult to understand what they are talking. So there's a big change in phonetics. And because our tongue becomes active in talking, even more active in talking, and it becomes more prominent in active in mastication, it further pushes the denture out. So once there is a tooth loss, it is always better to get it replaced with an option which can maintain the bone form and bone function as well, bone form and bone density. Now, the second factor, that is changes in soft tissues. What are the soft tissue changes that we are facing because of bone loss? You might be thinking that because of a tooth loss, there can be changes in hard tissue, but what soft tissue changes will happen? Definitely, soft tissues are also affected, because once a tooth is lost, once a bone will go, and once there is bone loss, the attached keratinized gingiva will also go. Once attached keratinized gingiva is gone, there will be only unattached mucosa which will be left. There will be thinning of mucosa. And as I told previously, our bony structures, few bony structures like superior genial tubercles, they'll all become even more prominent, and like mylohyoid ridge. So now our mucosa is thinned, our bony structures are prominent, and our removable prosthesis is, when we bite it, it will have friction against them, and there will be chances of sore spots. Also, mostly removable prosthesis will be done for elderly patients who will be having some kind of systemic disease. They'll be having diabetes, hypertension, anemia, or any other kind of nutritional disorder. Because of all these medical conditions, there will be decreased oxygen supply to the basal layer of epithelium. And when there is decreased oxygen supply to the basal layer of epithelium, the cell formation will reduce, and because there is cell formation will be reduced, there's further thinning of mucosa. So that's why with one loss of tooth, we not only face issues with our bony structures, but we face issues with our soft tissues as well. And these two factors combined then leads to our aesthetic consequences. Now, what are the aesthetic consequences that we face? Because there is loss of bone, as you can see in the above picture, what we are seeing, this lower half of the face, this facial height, it is reduced. There is loss of labiomental angle. Also, there is deepening of vertical lines on our face and lips. Okay, our chin is rotated forward. There is decreased horizontal labial angle of lip, which makes our patient looks unhappy all the time. There's loss of tone in the muscles of facial expression also. The vermilion border of our lips are also thinned. Because of tooth loss, bone loss happens, and because of bone loss, what happens? The amount of skin which is there on our face remains the same, but the bony height is reduced, and because the bony height is reduced, we face all those things. There's increase in columella filtrum angle. There's increase in length of maxillary lip as well. So there are so many, because of all these things, the looks of a patient completely changes entirely. There's a big difference in the way a person looks. It leads to witch's chin as well, as this picture, above picture, clearly indicates. There is ptosis of buccinata muscle and mentalis muscle attachment. Now, what is ptosis? Ptosis means loosening. Buccinata muscle and mentalis muscle, the muscle attachment, it loses. There's ptosis. So because of buccinata muscle ptosis, what happens? There are jowls on side of the face. Jowls means the skin sags from here. Because the buccinata muscle attachment is loose and there's ptosis, so there will be jowls on side of the face. The skin will sag from here, and because there is ptosis of mentalis muscle attachment, there this chin will look as if it has come like this out, and it will look like a witch's chin, as it is very much clear from the above picture. So all these factors were the anatomical consequences of tooth loss. Now, what is the next factor? Psychological aspects. See, a tooth loss is not only damaging physically, like it's not only damaging our bone, but it affects us mentally also very badly. If it's a posterior teeth, then there will be definitely loss of function. Food is a major part of our life, and we can't imagine our life without that. So imagine a person's psychology when he is not able to have his food properly because he is having backside teeth which are missing, and he's somehow adjusting, and because of this loss of tooth he is not able to eat his food properly. So there is somewhere his general health is also affecting. And if it is anterior tooth, then oh my god, what should I say? It really badly affects anyone's confidence. You just can't socialize, you can't go in public and talk. And if you get it replaced with treatments like RPDs, then there is always a fear of the denture slipping out. There's a change in phonetics, so we are always conscious about talking in public, so it has very bad psychological effects. So we need to get a treatment done which helps us heal, helps us heal our psyche as well. We have to restore the anatomy, we have to restore the function, and we need to restore the aesthetics as well. And that's why implants become very important. Last but not the least, the most important factor, advantages of implant supported prosthesis. What advantages is implant supported prosthesis offering which FPD or RPD is not able to give us? See, why are these two teeth, the side two teeth are very happy and they are welcoming the implant crown as if it's a king? Why are they welcoming the new member to the team? See, what happens, as I have explained previously also, the major benefit of implant goes to these two adjacent teeth. Because of implant, they will never suffer with any kind of decay. They will not undergo caries. They'll avoid any kind of root canal treatment in the future. They'll not have any periodontal issues. The best part, when an implant is placed, the implant goes inside the bone and it replaces the root of a tooth. So, whenever any patient will bite on this, forces will go inside the bone and the bone will be able to maintain its form and function. Because a bone's form and function will be maintained, the integrity of a bone will be maintained. So, there will be no bone loss. Okay, because there will be no bone loss, whatever consequences, aesthetic consequences we were facing, those aesthetic consequences will not be there. Phonetics of patient will be maintained normal. Occlusion will be perfect. the success of the prosthesis will be long term, and we will eliminate any need to restore these side 2 teeth. So that's all for this topic. I hope I have tried, I hope this video will make the understanding of importance of implants, and all my general practitioners will very well understand that every time we give the treatment options to our patients, they ask that why should we go for implants, by we have seen most of the people having bridges. So these are the points that I explained right now. These points will be helpful for you to explain to your patients. If you are a dental graduate, then these kind of questions will be coming in your exam: the importance of dental implants, the rationale behind placing dental implants. So this video I hope will be helpful for many of you in some or the other way. If you like this video, if you think that this video is helpful for you in any way, then please comment in the comment section below. Please like and share the video, and subscribe this channel for more such videos related to dentistry. Thanks for a patient listening. Signing off for today. Bye bye.